Okie dokie, good morning, good morning. This is the traffic congestion on 70. They're getting ready to dig a big old tunnel. I'll see if I can get it. I think I-70 is closed, so we are going to have to go either southern mountains or northern mountains. I think I'll take northern, go through Granby, and I can do my little commentary on it as well on tread. This is where the highway, they're redoing it, and then it'll drop and go underground. They must have some kind of collection issue with it, with the moisture water, because snow, it turns to liquid, it goes to the lowest point, because it's going to go into that tunnel. I've got to have some type of draining system, maybe a pump to pump the water back up to the drainage system. I don't know. I'm sure they figured it out, though. They had to. We are westbound, I-70 through Denver right now. Kind of over by Vasquez and Colorado Boulevard. Just barely gonna make this. The guy's right next to me. We got this. We get over by the Purina plant, you'll see it go down. They're making progress. I think what they're going to do is move everything to the right and then worry about the one on the left and then join the two lanes, that is. It's Colorado Boulevard right here. Here's the old bridge, the new bridge behind it. Here's where they're starting to go down. You can see there, they're going underneath. It's a rare view. Not too many people get to see that right now. I know you can't see it in a car. Seems like we're pretty high. When you're on 70, you know you're high. This is the elevated section that they're going to tear down. The Pilot truck stop used to be right over here. You can't see anything, even in the semi, when I get close to the road over there. See a little bit, but not enough to do video. They're going underneath the railroad tracks there. That's got to be some kind of feat of engineering. They got a lot of tracks. It's the Denver Rail Yard. And then it'll come up here. Is this guy? No, he's got his flashers on. And there it is coming back out there to the right. It's coming out of the hole. Anyway, get up into the mountains where it's a little bit cooler. Not much. I got 94 balmy right now. It'll probably be 90 or 85 up there. Somebody's waving to me. The gal in the truck right there. I wonder if she's a viewer. Could be. Okay. A lot of people look for this. Mike the choked chicken. You can see him hanging there because he's always just there. It always will be too, I suppose. Even if I change truck, it'll come along with me. Anyway, see you in a bit up in the mountains. So we're climbing up Berthoud Pass, Highway 40, westbound. There's a little beetle kill mixed in here and there. There's a waterfall right there. Tell you what, it sure is fun to drive my car on this highway. The new Caddy V. There's smoke out there in the valley. So a fire raging in Fraser, well, west of Fraser. The feds took over, and I think they're just going to let it burn until October. The snow eventually is going to put it out. That's how a forest renews itself. It does suck to see, but it's part of the natural cycle. I think what they're doing is cutting lines to where it can stay away from the keep it from moving east, I guess, into the town of Fraser. Nice and clear right now. We're so high up that it reaches a clarity, huh? So you think these switchbacks are kind of tough in the winter time, but they're actually not. Looks like a Kia Stinger GT. That's exactly what it is. There's There's that valley again. I don't think I've ever done this pass in the daytime. Done it at night in snow in a semi. The road going up to the antenna. Berthoud Pass trailhead. They took down their altitude sign. I know it's 11,000 something feet. Welcome to Grand County. I already headed back home. See you in a bit. Valley out there. This cornice up here is pretty much there year round. Temperature 72 degrees. Okay, we're coming into Granby. It is 85 degrees. Hot and dry. We used to jump in the lake when it was 90. I was like, man, it's so hot, I gotta go jump in the lake. Go jump in Lake Granby. Got the hay and cut and baled up. Low on washer fluid. I need to fill it up. Do have it on board. So in the video, in the documentary Tread, I worked with Cody. He was the owner of the concrete plant. I was a pump operator. Did it until I got hurt. Then I got put on sedentary duty. So I got to slow way down. So I was like hanging out. I got hurt in '98. It was in the spring of '99. I was working in the office, batching trucks out, doing sedentary duty because my legs were crushed. They rebuilt them, but they had me going back to work sedentary. So I did that for a while, and that's when old Marv come in there, and he was, you know, he made a deal initially with Cody, which I knew, for $250, and then he went and said, "Oh no, I want $375 or $350, whatever it was." And then Cody goes, "Yeah." But they didn't say he also wanted that building put to the front. I'll show you where. He wanted the building out front of the highway as well. Cody said, "No way." Well, fine, I'll fight you all the way. Now, I remember that part because I was in the office when he came in. And I went to Marv's auction, and like I said, I went to go buy something, looking at something. I asked him about it, and he just gave me a rude comment. And I just thought to myself, what a jerk, you know. I didn't know him, but I knew of him, of course. And then go to do the auction. It wasn't like it was a tax or in a state or some type of auction where they're taking the money. He was selling all his shit himself. So I'm like, all right. I'm gonna get over here, and then I'm gonna get back over because I never go down I always go down the middle lanes with a semi going into town. Right back there, you can see the propane tanks. I don't know if you can see them. They're right back in there. Trish's ex-husband, Paul McDonald, who I did a lot of work with, has a shop right down here. There's one of these right here. There's the propane plant right there. Paul's shop is one of these. I was dropping trees. So the bulldozer and the earth mover, that was right here. That was right there. This is a Thompson's place right there. It's been rebuilt. The school's out in the back a bit. I was coming into town. He was ripping it down the street here. I wasn't here. I was actually having a yard sale up in Grand Lake, but I knew what happened. I heard Gamble's is right here. This is where he ended. Let's see, right there. Back in there. There's the newspaper over here. So he was ripping it down through here, and Liberty Bank got attacked. It's up here. I don't think anything else in here got attacked. The police station, the county buildings or whatever. It's not the county seat. Hot Sulphur is the county seat. There's the Liberty Bank right here to the right. This is the one that got hit there. Back behind these buildings right here is that, what you call it, where he took out the police department, Granby Town Hall. You can see in the video Napa Auto Parts, it's right here. So you can see he came down quite a bit, quite a ways. There's Napa right there. And 50 mile per hour. North Park Transport. Been there forever. So there's the concrete plant. Let's see if I get, there's that white building over there. That's Marv's muffler shop. Right back there, the white one. There's the concrete plant, of course. Now see, up behind it in the hill is flintstone gravel. And that is where we were. I got my camera on a tilt. It's kind of hard to do it. We were up on top of the hill. And I remember old man Dick Thompson in 98 and 97, he would come up and hang out in the little office, like a little portable office. We had a batch plant up there, and he would come in and hang out, sit and talk. I remember his hands being all crippled up from arthritis. Cool cat, but I was a pump operator, so I would hang out with them now and then. Well, I'd just hang out in the office, wait for my next pump job if I wasn't already out on the road. So I'd talk in the evening. There's a state trooper right there in front of us. But I remember Cody saying he wanted to move his own property because he was leasing that. Like I said, I got hurt up on top at Flintstone Gravel in 98. The end of 98. In 99, I was up there I don't think I was there yet. I think I was in the new building down below when the Marvin attacked. And that one, I was batching trucks out of that plant because I couldn't do anything. Not because of my legs. I mean, sedentary, you're only allowed to do so much. Pretty much sit. Couldn't stand all day. Couldn't sit all day either at that time. So here, if you turn right here, it's Highway 125, take you up to Walden, Colorado, and then split at the Y. You could go left over towards Rawlins, Wyoming, and right, you go to Laramie, Wyoming. Kind of go around Elk Mountain off that highway, right? You just passed right there. We're on our way to Hot Sulphur, the county seat. Well, we're not going to there. It's to the next town. But I was having a hard time because I had kind of PTSD from the accident, and I was seeing a psychiatrist, and he was just feeling me out how things were going, only because what the lawyer said, you know. And I remember, like with Cody, the way you deal with Cody is if he yells at you, you yell back. Unless you're in the wrong, then you just take it. But I would always just go head to head with Cody. We're about the same size. He smokes Camel cigarettes, non-filter. I'm still friends with him. I still talk to him whenever I see him now and then. He is a firecracker, absolutely. In the documentary, you see a picture of him, Susie, and Joe. Joe, his son, Susie, his wife, and then Cody. It's that still picture. Joe's a really hard worker too. And they eventually had a falling out, father and son, and split the business. Joe took his money. I don't know if he's going to come back to the Mountain Park Concrete's not even working right now. So all this thing that Marv did technically is for nothing. And, you know, like they said, he brought up good issues about the dust and other things the concrete plant would bring, but once it was up and running, nobody even knew it was there anymore. They would throw decorations up at Christmas on the towers, you know, and nobody cared, nobody knew. To this day, nobody cares. It's not in anybody's way. It's not creating any problems. All those issues he brought up are, they don't mean anything now. So, but the way I look at it is, like I said, when I asked Marv a question, like I didn't know him, but I knew of him, and I did ask him because I went to that auction. I'm like, hey, you know, I was buying and selling stuff after I got hurt. So I'm like, well, I asked him, he had a really bad attitude. So I was like, well, screw you type dude, you know, and then after watching the documentary and getting a little bit more insight into him than what I knew of him, you know, and I feel like he held a grudge, like extremely. I mean, he ended up getting the money that he wanted. He just didn't get his building up front on the highway in that industrial complex that Cody was going to build, where he built the concrete plant. And Marv wanted his building thrown up front right on the highway. And he said no, because he kept changing the deal. Kept changing it. Give me $250 for the building. Okay. Nope, give me $375. Okay. Now throw a concrete building up there for me. No, we've already gone far enough. And that's where I was at. They didn't say that in the clip, but I remember being there. He wanted a building out on the highway, because as you could see, it was back off the main drag. 34 and 40 right there. 34 going up to Grand Lake, 40 we're on right now. So he was butthurt, and he held a grudge, you know. And the Good Old Boys Club, you know, to a degree that's up here, but you could do whatever you want up here. If you make money, you know, the thing that matters up here is that you stay to your word. Your handshake means is the means of it. You shake a guy's hand, you better come through. If not, then yeah, you're going to be ostracized, if you will. You're going to be, you know, they play fair up here. I wasn't in the big leagues with them like that, what they were doing, you know. But, you know, I mean, I think Marv was a bit greedy at times. He was making good money, and at he should have took the $375. He got another $125. He could have done a lot of stuff with that. But when he wanted the building up front, it's like, no. You know, he could have built the building up front, but it was on Cody's property, so, you know, should have worked out something, but he just got pissed, and when he was pissed, he was pissed. And, you know, it's like anything, you know, how you look at your surroundings, you know. I mean, like I look at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and I'm like, he can't even remember a lot of things. I understand he's old, 50 years in the swamp, he's never really done anything, and now he's going to do something. I see that. I saw how corrupt Hillary was. I wasn't going to vote for her. I didn't even care about Donald Trump either. I didn't even care. And then I saw a video on Trump. But I mean, it's just, well, I'm just getting that as a perception, what people see. Some people all for Hillary, no problem, more power to you. Some people all Trump, no problem, more power to you. Now, you know, Kamala Harris is going to be president. Joe's going to bow out. He's too old. And there's nothing wrong with being too old. That's when you go hang out with your grandkids. You know, what's wrong with that? You lived a long, fruitful life. Go chill. I don't see how he could be able to handle it at that age, being 4 hours of sleep a day. I don't think he'd be able to cut it. But like I said, it's all perception. What some people believe, what some people don't, what some people see, what some don't. And I guess that's the way with Marv. He saw it one way and he was done. Like he let everybody have it. I think the thing that bothered me in the video was, like, I believe everything happens for a reason, and it cracked me up how he kept saying, if I would have bought a D9, it wouldn't have fit in the doorway. Why did I buy this Komatsu? Because I was supposed to do this, you know, and why didn't nobody buy the Dozer at the auction? Because I was supposed to do this. If you listen to the video, you'll hear the Thompsons eating dinner, and they see this big, what's he going to do with that? What's he going to do with it? Well, he's not going to do much with it. What can he do with it other than excavating? The only excavators, they were big excavators along with a bunch of other people up here. So they would have seen it, but he's not an excavator, he's a muffler guy. So I think, and there wasn't a whole lot of, there was building going on, but I guess not enough for that dozer. That's why no one bought it. For him to say, oh, it was God's will, it's God's will. The whole thing was God's will. I was meant to do this. There again, I think it's just perception. What do you see? What do you believe? You know. Like I said, I've worked with Cody. I've known Cody since '97. Me and him get along fine. We've butted heads a few times, you know, and he's one of them guys, he'll get pissed off. Like what happened was, I was doing sedentary duty, and he asked me to go clean out under the batch plant and drain 3, you know, and I'm like, Cody, I don't know this place. It's back in there. So I go back there and I'm looking, and he's like, I don't see it. I go, Cody, I'm having problems. He gets all pissed off, and he goes in there and he's like, it's right, oh, it's covered up, but it's right here. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, I don't know. It's all new batch plant. I haven't been here. I wasn't here when you built it. Then he hit his head on one of the steel beams after he dug out and found out where it was at. And I'm like, oh man, you all right, dude? And he's all pissed. I gotta freaking show everybody this and this. And I'm like, don't you yell at me, bud. I let him have it. Matter of fact, I actually quit. Like, I quit. Like, I gotta put up with this bullshit, Cody. So he ends up, I ended up walking off, getting my car and took off. I clocked out and took off. He calls me the next day. Hey, Mike. Hey, Cody. Coming to work today? I go, nope. Oh, yeah, I see you have a doctor's appointment. I'm like, yep. Are you going to come by the day after that? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let me know. All right. So I went down. It was actually a shrink appointment. I told him I'd take this job and shove it. They could take their workman comp check and shove it. I'm done with this stuff. I can't do the things I used to do because my legs are all jacked up. I'm just a pissed off camper. And he goes, I'm pulling you off sedentary duty. I'm like, that's fine. So I didn't go back to work. It's a nice, clean, chrome camper there. Anyway, we're in Byers Canyon right now. Highway 40 westbound. It's the Colorado River, right down there to the right. Tiny little river that it is up here. If I can get a shot of it, there it is right there. That's the Colorado. So anyway, it was a while back. I mean, it was after. It was like maybe 05. I saw Cody at the market. Yeah, you still got your license? I'm like, yeah. You want to drive a truck for me? Which I've driven all their mixer trucks up and down these mountains in the snow and dry, mostly dry, but we would still do it in the wintertime. I remember having to hook up to a Caterpillar tractor like a D8, a D9, and get pulled up backwards with a chain. It was so steep. In a 6x6 mixer truck with chains on. It's pretty wild living up here doing that stuff. But anyway, I started working with him a little bit here and there, and then I like, I think I can manage to get back to work. So eventually I did. I was on Social Security. I told them to stop it. I was done. Colorado River right there. So they go, we can't stop it. I go, well, you need to, because I think I can go back to work. I'm not telling them I already had been working for like a couple of weeks. I already tried it. I went through the process. I can do this. Because I didn't think I'd be able to. But eventually I did. And ended up working for him for a while, and then I ended up going to wasted management. And actually, Cody lives right up here. That fire in Fraser, I couldn't really see it because the smoke was so bad. There's our shooting range right there to the right. See how dry it is out here? This is like California during the height of their drought. This is usually green. I haven't been getting any rain up here. Anyway, Cody, those guys, they live over here off County Road 3. They go over Ute Pass, Highway 9, Silverthorne. He lives over here by the lake, Williams Fork. That's kind of funny to see a lot of the people that I know, and I didn't know everybody in that documentary, but I know about 80% of the people. Like Travis Bussey from Grand Lake, he had a little mixer plant up there, these old rickety trucks. He'd batch out local people here and there. I think him and his parents are ranching family here a little bit, had some land. County Road 3 closed due to fire. You can go a little bit ways, but then they cut you off. Used to service trash cans way back at the campgrounds, way back there on the end of County Road 3, which is kind of like the backside of Berthoud Pass. But they're closed now because of the fire. Little town of Partial. We have a PI up here called the Partial Inn. It's been here forever. It's a food, games, and bars. It's a tiny little bar. 1950. It's just been there forever. I think it's closed right now. They probably just open in the evening. Anyway, we're trying to get to Grand Junction because we got plumbing supplies on board, and I probably should have came up Highway 9 to Kremling over Rabbit Ears, which is the way we're going, and then Craig Meeker 70. Everybody else was taking 50 Monarch Pass, Montrose, Colorado, Buena Vista, Highway 285. I didn't want to get caught in all that traffic. This guy's just doing 55. Service truck for Caterpillar, I assume. Yeah, it was I remember my son calling me that day. It was Friday, June 4th. I was having a yard sale because I was buying and selling stuff, Dad, there's a guy with a bulldozer tearing up a town. Like, see, son, that's why I moved to the mountains. So I don't get away from them crazy people. No, it's happening in Granby. And I'm like, really? I wonder who that could be. I wonder, and I started thinking about it. Yeah, I wonder if that really is Marvin. Yep. County Road 21 to the right of us goes back. There's a bunch of ranches back in there. A lot of people are do up here, just ranch. Anyway, we'll see you in a bit. Trucking through Kremlin. We always call it Kentucky. This is the western part of the county. The eastern part, call it Kentucky. I'm sure some of them probably here do as well. C-Dot barn. She's bit. A bit clearer over here. We're hitting the ears, the rabbit ears. That's them right in front of us. '83 Balmy. Now we're just leaving Grand County into Moffett. Where everybody rides their snowmobiles up here in the wintertime. Buffalo Park, Muddy Creek, Muddy. been up here where it's so bad in the winter you can't even see. Full-on blizzard action. Oh, I said Moffat County, actually Route. What are you doing there, buddy? See, you never know. You risk your life every day on the highway. West summit of Rabbit Ears basically has two of them, the east and the west. This guy just popped into the highway here. See you in a bit. There's an old pump truck like I used to run. Brundage Bone. Woo-hoo. The gear's holding just about right. For the weight. It's going to be a really crazy hill when you're heavy and have an old truck. Washer fluid. That's what that beeping is. Steamboat right ahead of us. $1 million houses, multi-million dollar houses right in front of us. See you in a bit. Now we are southbound Highway 13 between Rifle and Craig. That's where that gal Lauren Bobert, I think is her name. She's like 100 pounds, 5 foot tall. She carries her gun on her hip. I think a lot of the waitresses do there. There's a grill. It's called Shooters, and she will be in the town called Rifle with a bar restaurant called Shooters. That's why she invoked her Second Amendment right, and a lot of people love it. Some people hate it. I know when Beta O'Rourke came in and said, oh yeah, we're coming for your guns. That kind of made her mad. She went down there to Aurora, Colorado, confronted him with it, and then she decided to run for office, and actually is going to win, looks like, against an incumbent, Scott Tipton, who President Trump endorsed. But I'm sure he'll endorse her too. She's a little firecracker. That's kind of what we need to have, is people come in and out of the office and not stay in those offices. You know, president can only be president for 8 years and they're done. You know, you look at all these politicians in the Senate and the House, they've been there for 50 years. You know, and they do nothing but that's the swamp. That is the swamp. It's supposed to work for the people, and they want to control us. I'm totally against that. But anyway, yeah, Rifle. That's where she's from. That's where the restaurant is. We won't be going by it because we take the bypass lane or highway, bypass highway, around the actual town because it's kind of small. But anyway, we'll finish this video up here. this washer fluid thing, I tell you, when it gets low, it just like every 3 minutes it beeps, or maybe it's 5. I don't know, but it's irritating. I have the fluid to put it in. I just don't feel like stopping at the moment. But I'll get it filled up here pretty quick. So with that being said, sorry it's been taking me forever to do videos, but I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I don't even have that core pain anymore. But one of my viewers told me about this stuff called moringa powder, M-O-R-I-N-G-A. I'm going to give it a shot and see how it works. Just got to get a hold of some first. I'd like to buy it in person. It's a light green is the color it's supposed to be, but it's packed full of all kinds of vitamins. And it's just a herbal plant, like a 6-foot tree or something. I don't know. And so I want to try that while I still have the prednisone. And if it, see that? Figure out how many minutes that was. Anyway, while I still have the prednisone, I'm going to take the other stuff. And it took me 2 days to go back into extreme pain when I ran out of the prednisone. So I want to try that, and if it works, I'll talk to my doctor and tell him, look, I think you might have solved it. Anyway, we'll see. Bring her on down. So with that being said, we'll call this video good for now. Thanks again for riding shotgun with Mountain Man Mike. Until the next time, enjoy. Peace. See ya.